Concepts and Procedures of Accounts Receivable by Tanisha Johnson. Fraud, waste, and abuse. Fraud. As a medical assistant working in accounts receivable, you have to keep an eye open for any medical fraud, waste, or abuse. Medical fraud is when a person purposely knowing attempts to hatch a plot for their purpose of gain. Some examples of fraud are billing for services that were never received, changing medical records, and providing patients with unnecessary treatments or procedures. Waste is overutilization of services which causes a unnecessary cost of the healthcare system. It is not an illegal action, it's just an improper use of resources. An example of waste is letting medication expire, then having to throw it away. Another one is doing more than what is needed to be done for a patient. Abuse is payment for services or items when there is no legal right to that payment in which there was intentional falsification to obtain payment. This can happen when a person uses someone else's medical ID card to get services provided to them. Misusing codes on a claim is another example. Working in accounts receivable, you have to try to avoid fraud, abuse, and waste by making sure you take the time to get all the patient's information and submit the information correctly. Make sure that the services that were billed are medically necessary for this patient. You also have to make sure you are using the right CPT codes or HCPCS codes. The insurance claim cycle is the process in which a claim goes from beginning to end. It starts from the claim submission until it is paid. The process starts by information about the patient, service provided, the provider's information, the payer's information being collected. This information is checked to make sure all the information collected is correct, including the patient's eligibility. It also checked to make sure that the codes submitted are correct. Once all the information is found to be correct, the next step is for the calculation of the final payment. After the calculation is done, it has to go through being finalized. Once the finalization is successfully processed, then the payment is submitted to the provider. As you can see, the insurance claim cycle can be a time consuming process. So if you have the correct information, including codes needed, then this process can be much quicker and smoother. CMS 1500. CMS 1500 form is used by physicians and suppliers to submit a claim for billing. The paper version of this form is called the 831I or 837P. The I stands for institution and the P stands for physician. When it comes to filling out this form, you need to make sure you it out correctly. Make sure you double check the information you input on this form. Each of the boxes on the form are numbered. They are known as form locators. The first 11 boxes show the patient's info and the insurance information. The next 14 to 33 numbers on the form are dates of service, the ICD, CPT, and/or HCPCS codes. It will also show the doctor's information. This information is important so that the payer can pay the one who provided the services. So it's very important that these forms are filled out correctly so there won't be any delay in their payment. Medicare. There are 4 parts of Medicare. Medicare Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. Medicare Part A is called your hospital insurance plan. When you are eligible to apply for Medicare, you get enrolled in Part A free of charge. There is no premium. The reason there is no premium is because these people were employed and the government was taking money out of their check to pay for Medicare Part A. Medicare Part A covers a patient hospital stay, nursing care facility, rehabilitation after you come from the hospital, and hospice. Medicare Part B is your medical insurance. Medicare Part B is not required, so if you already have medical insurance through your job, spouse, or other, you don't need to sign up for Medicare Part B. As a participant in Medicare Part B, you have to pay a premium every month. There is a small deductible which has to be paid before Part B kicks in. The higher your income is, the more premium you have to pay. Medicare Part B pays 80% of allowable charges, which means you will need a secondary insurance, or you will have to pay the remaining 20%. The medical coverage for Part B includes a portion of outpatient procedures, mental health services, doctor's visits, ambulance, diagnostic tests, and medical equipment. There are some services that are not included in Medicare Part B, which are eye exams, glasses, dental, dentures, and hearing aids. Medicare Part C is known as Medicare Advantage. These plans are provided by private insurance companies and must be approved by Medicare. Before you participate in Medicare Part C, you must have Medicare Part A and B. There are different costs depending on which Medicare Advantage you get. With the difference in cost, there come different rules. For example, one plan might require you to get a referral to see a specialist, while the other plan doesn't. These rules can change from year to year and from plan to plan. This plan covers Medicare Part A and Part B, plus in any case other coverages. These other coverages include vision, hearing, dental, and wellness programs. Almost all Medicare Advantage plans include prescription coverage, but some don't. So anyone who enrolls in Medicare Part C needs to make sure that they are receiving drug coverage. Medicare Part D is known as your prescription plan. This helps pay for prescription. In order to get Medicare Part D, you must have Part A and Part B. This plan is offered through a private insurer and you have a premium to pay every month. Along with the premium, there's a co-payment you have to pay for all your prescriptions. EOB stands for Explanation of Benefits. This is a detailed document about a medical claim that has been processed. It shows what is paid to the provider and what amount the patient owes. Some people may think this is a bill, but it isn't. So if a patient has any questions, please try to answer them if you can. If not, try to direct them to their insurance carrier or someone who can answer their questions. Every time a patient goes to the doctor or specialist, a claim is submitted, payment is received from the insurance company, then the EOB will be sent to the patient. It will have how much the insurance company paid and what the patient owes. You should tell a patient to always overlook their EOB. This will help them not to pay for services they didn't receive. You should also tell them to try to write down when they went to the doctor and what they had done. That way, they have something to compare it to. If they find a mistake on their EOB, tell them to contact their insurance provider right away. That way, the patient will be able to get a an explanation of why certain charges should or should not be on that EOB.